Okay, so officially welcome to everyone. Thank you for uh, signing up for this course, and I hope that I can deliver the best I can to your expectations. My name is, as you know, probably Taras Timo. I'm from Ukraine, from Lviv, from Ukrainian Catholic University. I'm not a biblical scholar, strictly speaking, although I studied theology generally and studied Bible a lot, and it's my interest. But also, I'm more a patristic scholar, a scholar of church history and so-called church fathers, great early Christian theologians who wrote most of what we know about Christian faith. So they are like basis of our faith. Apart from the Bible, obviously. And also I studied classical languages pretty much, and I was involved in a biblical translation project, translating Psalms into Ukrainian from Greek, partially from Hebrew, although I'm not a specialist in Hebrew, but some other people in our team were. And also from Church Slavonic, which is important language for Ukrainian church tradition. So I hope to be able to share with you my excitement with the Psalms, because this is the book that I have been in love for many, many years. Basically in my teenage time, I was introduced to the Church Slavonic Psalter, which became for me a very important book for my personal spiritual formation. And then when I studied theology, I studied Psalms a lot and I was in love with them. I learned a lot my Greek by reading Psalms in Greek translation. And then when I was lucky to be the part of this translation project, I was very enthusiastic about translating Psalms from their Greek original, one can say, into modern Ukrainian language. It's by no means a first translation into Ukrainian, but the most recent one, and we tried to be as much aware of recent developments of the language as we could. And my role in this translation project was to not only to translate, but also to be kind of theological editor. So I had to read Psalms, different biblical dictionaries, encyclopedias, different reference books about Psalms, commentaries, and so on, and to make sure that our rendering of the original text was correct or in line with the tradition and with the modern biblical scholarship. And while doing that, I discovered a great depth of the text of the Psalter. I knew about this somehow before, but when you go line by line through whole Psalter, reading different commentaries by church fathers and by modern theologians and biblical scholars, that opens for you this whole world of biblical wisdom. And I decided to share this with my Ukrainian students first. And this time of COVID is when we are locked in the homes, was beneficial because I eventually found time to record some lectures in Ukrainian for Ukrainian students or for general public, put them on YouTube. And then some friends of mine from the United States said, why wouldn't you do this for English audience? And I understand my English is not perfect, and sorry for that. I hope you can understand me. And also in the English-speaking world, unlike in Ukraine, there are thousands of people who can do it probably better than I can. But I took this challenge. It's interesting for me, and I hope it will be interesting for you. I will try to present what I have learned and what I appreciate about the Psalter, and maybe what will be slightly original in my presentation is that I will do this from the perspective of from the perspective of Eastern Christian, Eastern Catholic. Later we will refer to some books on Psalms that you might purchase from Amazon or find in your local library that are written by different biblical scholars, but mostly they are either Protestant or Jewish or Catholic. They may be very devout Christians and extremely knowledgeable biblical scholars who forgot more than I have ever learned, but they never take into consideration in their commentaries, in their treatment of the Psalms, Eastern Christian tradition and our use of Psalms in Eastern Byzantine Christian liturgy. So that will be probably something original in my commentaries on the Psalms, because I will constantly refer to traditional Eastern Christian understanding of this or that biblical text. But again, it will not be like half of my commentary, it will be just elements. And for those of you who do not come from Eastern Christian tradition, and I think some of you don't worry, I will try to stick faithfully to the text of the Bible and to the general, so to speak, commentary of the Psalms, not just do it in a partisan way, so to speak. Okay, and I would like to ask you to introduce yourself. We are very few today, just 7 or 8 of us, and I think we can have like 20-second presentation for each of you, so that I understand better to whom I'm talking. And by the way, please, if you can switch on your cameras, that will be helpful for me. You don't have to do that, but sometimes it's easier to interact if I see you personally. But also feel free to switch off if you need to, if you don't feel comfortable with that. So please, go ahead and tell a couple of words about yourself. Where are you from and why you have taken this endeavor to listen to me. Maybe we'll start with Hans Anthony Joseph Kalma. That's how I see you in the window.
Yes, hello, I am Hans Anthony Joseph. I am from the Philippines.
Oh.
It's 4 a.m. and I'm 20 years old, 24, sorry. And I'm an incoming seminarian for theology, the Diocese of Macau.
How have you learned about the course?
Oh, some random friends interested in Eastern Christianity shared it. I also happened to be listening to some Melkite courses, so when I saw it, I took it.
Okay, welcome. Okay,
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Paula Solomini, and I work for the Ukrainian Catholic Education Foundation, so indirectly with you. I heard about the program through my dear friend Martha Wiegand down here.
Okay.
And I thank you very much for doing this for us. This is wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Yeah, please, Martha. Microphone. Left bottom corner.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I am Martha, or Martha in English, and I always love the Psalms. I read them every day, and I would like to get deeper into them, from all the different angles of, history and culture of that time, understanding of the Psalms from all angles, whether it's Eastern Christian or even Western Christian. So I'm really happy to have found this course, and I found out about it from a Basilian sister, actually from our Eparchy, Sister Olga and Anne, Sister Anne Lashuk from St. Joseph at Eparchy. And then I passed it on to other people, including to Paula, and Paula passed it on to the Department of Ukrainian Catholic Education Foundation, but I'm not sure if anybody else is actually participating in that. So,
Thank you. Thank you. I hope every one of you is comfortable with the fact that this video will be on the YouTube later for other people to view. So I just have to tell this. And also another important announcement is that this Zoom platform has this limitation of 40-minute session. That means that after 40 minutes, it switches all of us off. But all you need to do is to reconnect again. So just click on the same link again, and it will take 1 minute maybe for us to reconnect back. But do return back, please, after the disconnection.
Excuse me, it's interesting to hear where everyone's from. I forgot to say, I'm Chicago, so I'm 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
Okay. Ken?
Oh, hi, everybody. I'm Ken Nicolrod. I live in the Raleigh-Durham Chapel Hill area of North Carolina in the United States. And I received an email around about 3 weeks ago asking me to join the course. And I've always really wanted to learn something about the Psalms. I took a course through the Institute of Catholic Culture that was a year long. And it is run by 2 Melkite priests. It's very good. But we really didn't spend a lot of time on the Psalms. So when I saw this, I thought, oh, this is great. So here I am today.
Welcome. Great. Okay. John Cruz.
Hi, good evening. I'm John. I'm in New Jersey. It's very overcast here. We're having a thunderstorm, or we just had a thunderstorm, and it's still...
We do, in view also.
Oh, really? Okay.
I was even worried about my internet connection because sometimes we lose it when there is thunderstorm. But
okay. Well, we need it here for the lawns in New Jersey. We haven't had much rain, so we're welcoming this rain. As others have mentioned, I also have a deep love for the Psalms. I try to use the Psalms in my personal prayer life. And I guess I wanted to take this course to kind of deepen my understanding of the Psalms. And I found out about it, I believe it was through a Facebook group that it was posted at, or the Byzantine church that I go to has a Facebook page, and I believe I saw it posted there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the course and trying to take in as much as I can. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please, Carol and Thomas.
Hi, I'm Carol Donlin, and we live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So we're halfway between Texas and California. We found out about it through a combination simultaneously of a Facebook post that I had seen, and our own parish priest, who is also from Ukraine, Father Artur Buvnevich. And I am the Director of Religious Education, or the ECF coordinator. And because I teach the high school group, I wanted to be able to supplement what they are learning in their religious education classes to bolster their prayer life. And then my son.
Hello, I'm
Thomas.
Thomas. Son, seminary Eparchy of Phoenix.
We cannot really hear you well. Maybe you just move a little closer to the microphone or something.
Sorry about that. So, my name's Thomas. I'm seminary Eparchy of Phoenix, and it's supposed to gain other understanding for the Psalms.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a different viewpoint from other people about how they use the Psalms and things like that.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. And Stephen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephen Schmaltz. I am a member of St. Michael's Ukrainian Catholic Church in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So I'm part of the St. Nicholas Eparchy, like some of our people here as well. I don't know anything about the Psalms at all, apart from praying them during hours at church and matins at church, things like that, because I'm one of the cantors. But as far as I like praying them, but I don't really understand their history, what they're about. Are they really prophetic? Was David really a prophet, King David? So these kind of questions I'm interested in learning more about.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, before we start, I have to thank Byzantine Catholic Eparchy of Passaic. Is it right? I don't know how to pronounce.
Yes, it is.
For organizing this course, Father Vasil Chepelsky, who is now, I believe, in charge of educational projects in the eparchy, invited me to do this course, and the initiative was supported by the bishop. So that's why this course is happening. And it's my pleasure to actually talk to you all, and we will be interrupted in 7 minutes or so, but as I said, we come back. So how we will do work, it's a little bit of a challenge for me, because I'm obviously, you have different backgrounds, and you have different knowledge about Psalms. Some of you probably can be pretty advanced in the practice of Psalms and knowledge. Some of you might lack academic knowledge about Psalms, but have more experiential, practical knowledge of them, and so on. But I will try to hit a middle road, so to speak. I will try to assume that you know something about Psalms, but not too much. If something that I'm telling you is too obvious, you can always ignore it and go through it. And I believe some of my findings will be interesting for you and will be a discovery for your own enrichment for your knowledge of Psalms. And normally, the way we will be working in this course, I will offer you an introduction, and I think normally we will do it in more or less 1 hour. Is this fine for you to have this meeting for? Now we had this little chat and introduced each other, but in terms of real lecture, I would say I need like 45 minutes up to 60 minutes, and then you can always ask some questions. You can send your questions in this group chat here during my lecture, so as I talk, you can just have some question, and not to forget it, send it to me, or you can voice them after the lecture in the Q&A session. For the lecture, I use PowerPoint presentation, which I'm going to share with you in a minute, but I don't think there is a sense to do this before the interruption. So maybe for this 3 or 4 minutes that are left, I will tell you something else without the presentation, and then we start properly. I might want to talk to you about some biblical texts. What Bibles do you use? Like, you probably read some biblical texts at home, or you use in the church. Will it be like New American Bible, or what translation?
I think I have the New American Bible.
New American Bible.
RSVCE.
Okay, well, that's a sophisticated one. And you, Hans?
RSVCE.
Okay, Revised Standard Version. And I can recommend for you, for the Psalms, there is an excellent translation. It's called Grail translation, or Grail Psalter. It's a British one, but it's a very, very good, as far as I can judge, but I was also told by some people, revised, yes, by some people from Great Britain, this is like the most melodious translation, well adapted for chanting, for church use. And also it's interesting because it follows a traditional numbering the same as in Byzantine liturgy. I believe it's actually following the Vulgate, the old Latin translation, but the numbers coincide because in your Bibles that are translated from the Hebrew, the numbering of Psalms will be slightly shifted. We will speak more about that, how to call each Psalm. For example, Psalm 50, that is widely used in Byzantine liturgy as penitential Psalm, normally in modern Bibles will have the number 51 because this is the number it's given in the Hebrew usage, in the Hebrew tradition. For us, it's Psalm 50. I will be basing my lectures on some English translations that are made from Greek because this will be more appropriate for what I want to tell in the lectures, but you are welcome to use as many translations and different translations as you want because every translation is presenting a different yes, and for Roman Catholics you can use Vulgate numbering of the Latin Bible, and you can also use this Grail Psalter. It's very good. Okay, so let me end this session and please connect again.